sixth graders, I hope that you're doing well today. We're going to continue with our summative assessment, and this time we're going to be moving on to step 2, which is going to be evaluating the sources and completing our research. We're still following the same pattern that we have been with our summative assessment. So we finished step 1, which was the formative assessment you submitted on Friday. I've given you feedback to it if you submitted it on time, and you have gotten feedback over whether or not your question was correct or a good question to work with, how to improve the question, and I've also given you feedback on the sources you've chosen if you need to find more. Make sure that you apply the feedback that I gave to you on that formative assessment to your work before you begin. So if I've told you to locate more sources or change your sources, make sure that you do that before you start evaluating them. As you evaluate your sources and what you're going to be doing today and Thursday, you're going to be looking at them for their origin and purpose. If you need a review of what origin and purpose are, we did it in a small classwork activity last week, and we'll be reviewing the same ideas that we did earlier in the year. You can find all that information for origin and purpose here in this slideshow. So it talks us through what origin is, what we need to look for, purpose, that is, okay? So these are the things you need to be explaining in your evaluation of origin and purpose. As you're going to do that, you're going to need to put the source names, whether it's an article or a video title, put it here, the MLA citation for the source, and the day that you are looking at it and evaluating it, so either today, tomorrow, or Thursday's date, whichever day you're looking at evaluating it. You're going to give the origin of the source, where does it come from, when does it come from, who made it, the purpose of the source, why was it made, what can we learn from it? Who is it trying to reach? The origin of the source can also tell us things like what are the qualifications of the person who made it? The purpose of the source also makes you think a little bit more critically about why the source was written. Why are we trying to, or what was the author's purpose or the creator's purpose in making that source? When we talk about, and then once you finish that, once you've looked at the origin and the purpose of each source, you're going to answer these questions here, okay? How can this source help me to better understand or solve the problem? What are some important ideas that this source has taught me? And what do I still need to understand? So in this question, you're really going to be applying critical thinking, looking at the origin and purpose, and explain how that source, based on where it comes from and why it was made, how can it help you to better understand or solve the problem that you made in your question, okay? So you're going to put together what you've looked at in the origin and purpose to answer that question. The second question, what are some important ideas this source has taught me? In there, you're going to summarize the main ideas of what you're learning from that source. So whether it's giving you some facts about the problem you identified in your city, or whether it's telling you 2 different or 3 different ways that a problem could be solved, you're going to write those down and summarize them in your own words, explaining what the source has taught you and what you've learned from the source, how it can help you with your project. And then after that, you're going to think about maybe the things you still need to learn to complete your project. What do I still need to understand? Maybe there's some words or ideas in there you need to explore further and look up some more. Put that in there. If there's a word you don't understand in your article or in your source, you can say that I need to better understand this word, and then that way you're planning out your research, you're showing that you can react with research skills to problems that come up in your own research. And so you'll complete that with each source. So you're supposed to have 3 sources. You'll look for the origin and purpose and answer these questions for each of the sources each of the sources that you're looking at. If you've looked at more than 3 sources, like 4 sources, you'll add the other table and section if you need to. Then once you finish all of your research, you looked at all 3 of your articles, evaluated them for their origin, their purpose, summarized what you've learned, and reflected on what you still need to understand. You're going to reflect on your research overall. So here you're going to write a few sentences, not just a one word answer, but a few sentences that explain your research process overall, what went well and what didn't. How could you have had stronger research process? Do you think you could have found better results? And provide an overall detailed description and reflection on your research project. So this is what I need you to complete by Thursday. And then on Friday and Tuesday, we'll complete the final stages of our project. But by Thursday, you need to be sure that you have evaluated all of your sources, that you have summarized all of your research and completed all of your research. You'll be submitting that here on Google Classroom. For you to submit that, or when you submit that, that allows me to give you more feedback to add to your summative assessment. By not submitting it, you are not allowing yourself to get feedback. It's very important that you submit that work on time. If many of you finish this before Thursday, then I'll just go ahead and add up those next instructions for the next part of the task. But good luck on this. If you have any questions, I'll be available today on Google Classroom, and I'll also be available on Thursday on Google Meet. I'll also be available on Thursday on Google Meet as well to help with any of the process. So today you need to be sure that you have reviewed the feedback for your formative assessment on ManageBac. And you need to be sure that you begin your evaluation of your sources and your research, and finishing your research today and Thursday. That's what we're doing. Please email me if you have any questions. Let me know if I can help you. Again, I'm available today on Google Meet, and I'll be available Thursday on Google Meet as well. Good luck!